got a Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 97. It's got an ABS code for the ABS pump. And what we're going to do is we're going to get down here under this electronic actuator, that piece, and we're going to try resoldering because there's a problem with the power feed. There's a problem with the power feed getting to this. And with my scantool, which is a Thinktool tool, it doesn't throw a code, it just says ABS circuit fault. And when you unplug it, it doesn't throw, it doesn't communicate with it. And when I tested this with a power probe at these two connections, so once this plug goes in, this is from the engine, but this comes out of this module and feeds this actuator. And I was, with trying to trigger it on and off, I was only ever getting positive through my power probe on both. So there's a problem with where this part mounts on this board. The solder joints are weak, which is kind of what I suspected when I first looked at it. These are common to fail on these Jeeps, and this lady doesn't really want to spend a bunch of money on it, and Toyota will quote you like $1,600 to replace this pump. You can still drive it as is. I don't know why people panic. You know, ABS is important and nice, but plenty of cars don't have ABS. The car still brakes fine. If you just drive mellow, like you should with an older car like this, you'll be good. But yeah, we're going to try to fix that by resoldering it. All right, let's grab the Thinktool, and I'll show you what codes it's throwing. Got the keys to the Jeep. Even though it's a 96, it's actually a 97 for parts. And this Thinktool I got used, I don't even know what model it is, works great. So I love this old Jeep. I got it for this friend of the family, and paid not very much money for it because it wouldn't pass California smog. Got it to pass smog. Throwing on an eBay catalytic converter, and now it's been basically 3 years of running well. It's got 146,000 miles. So I'll fire this up. I'll show you what code it's throwing. You guys don't need to wait for this part. But yeah, these Jeeps are cool. It's got the inline 6. This is about the newest Jeep I'd ever recommend buying. I don't really work on any new Jeeps at all. All right. I guess if you came this far, I'll just keep going with you. American. I'm trying to do this while watching through the phone. Okay. #16-pin Jeep. I've already went through this and it wouldn't do the auto search. I'm gonna call it a 97 Grand Cherokee. Okay, so I'm gonna do choose to scan ABS. Enter. So that's cool because it doesn't do that screen on OBD2 cars. Now remember, I have this module unplugged right now, so it's not communicating with it, right? So let's go out over here. And let's re-plug in the ABS module. So now that's re-plugged in. Now watch. Now I'm going to go back again. Enter. Come on, baby. I think it's trying. If not, we'll cycle the key a few times. So now it will communicate with that module, which is cool. So that means we can deduce that, you know, the wiring is probably good. We're not going to go down that route. There's something wrong with what it's doing at the actuator. So that's what you get. You don't actually get a code. You just get this. And if you try to clear it, it doesn't actually clear. Like it's a hard fault. It stays on. So I'm going to fire this baby up. You can see there's the ABS light. Oh, it's off. I bet that turns back on if I drive it, because it's a shake. I bet it's a bad solder. All right, when I snap my fingers, I'm gonna have that electronic piece out of there, hopefully without having to disconnect these lines so I don't have to bleed it. So if you just remove these 13 millimeters, you can kind of get enough room to wiggle it around. And then there's a hidden bolt under this. If you wanted to remove this whole bracket, there's one there, one here that I just now am seeing. But yeah, there's still one hidden under this. So you'd either have to remove those, which I think I'm gonna do. I'd like to just not have to do this. I'd like to have space to be able to get these torques out without having to battle it. You got to get this computer module unbuckled. And I know people say it's a pain in the ass to get to, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. Here's the NASCAR way. You get it started first, and then you just make sure when you push down with confidence. That'll help break off some of the tighter ones. So now this bracket. Oh, there's still one more bolt down there. I can feel it. Yeah, there's a hidden bolt down there. No, where am I fighting this bracket? Does not want to move. And that does not look like it's a bolt. Is it time for the pry bar? Yeah, it's probably time for the pry bar. Now I got some movement on it. Should come off. Okay. Try to get that bracket out. There's that bracket out. You can see that's just a real little rubber thing. Pro tip is just spray the shit out of this with whatever lubricant you want. Windex, doesn't matter. Something just dropped, I don't know. But just spray that shit. Spray all these fittings with Windex, dish soap, something to lubricate it. All right, so now we got better access. At least I can get my little paws under there. Easier to get at those torques that are holding that on. I can't see, so I'm just taking you down there. But we need to remove this piece, the module, the computer part, from this actuator pump part, so we don't have to re-bleed all that. You could take it off here, but then you're gonna have to re-bleed all those lines, and I don't want to deal with that. Because as I saw on YouTube, you can get, this is obviously the power feed for that. So yeah, my thing is that one of these solder joints on the control board is bad. So yeah, I'm an idiot. I only have a Torx E6. You need an E5. You can do like me and kind of gingerly bend it out of the way, but I stripped one. The other ones came out fine with the E6, kind of stripped, but I'm gonna grab this with some vice grips and get it out, cut it out. But yeah, you can almost turn it like that to just make it easier. These little lines, as long as you don't kink them, you can bend them pretty good. The nip picks for the win. This is what these look like. Mangled. Well, pretty cool. All right, so now you gotta cut. Get these clips and cut it out, I guess, because I glued it. So on to the next stop. So I'm going to use the DeWalt to cut right above that crease. I'm going to do this very gently. You could use a hacksaw. We just need to get this top cover off. So, kind of the gap I got. See if with a good old screwdriver, she might just pop off. Okay, I pried it off, I broke it, but that's okay because I'm just going to flow this with silicone. But you should be a little bit more careful if you live in a state with salt. Here's the board. We're going to go after these two joints right there, reflow those, and maybe touch up a few others. But generally, I think these two, which relate to those two pins, are what goes bad. So there's the inside of the board. There's how these are. So I just cut around with the angle grinder. And you just can't go too deep in certain spots, look, because how close that chip is. I don't think I nicked it. I maybe slightly nicked it. Yeah, but you don't want to go too deep or you'll nick that chip. That's about, yeah, so on this side is the side where those chips are really close. Same up here. Yep, so there you go. So as you see, there's like this glue, like silicone they put. So you want to kind of scrape it off gently or heat it up and then scrape it off. Just pull it off to expose those joints. See that one? See how cracked that is? Right there. So as this board flexes and heats up, geez, I'm sorry, I can't focus. You can see how it moves. So as you're driving down the road, that's why that code comes and goes. Reflow solder. Done. So I'm just gonna check to see if the computer can communicate with it. I don't really want to try activating it because this needs to be compressed and I need to put on that piece. It still shows the code on my scanner, but when I do the activation test, you can hear it come on. And when you start it, there's no ABS light. So I'm gonna call that fixed. We're gonna drive it around and see. I'm gonna put it back together. So I first did some dab of RTV, and then I'm gonna hit it with the glue gun. Here's the finished product, hot glued RTV silicone. Melted that together, that crack. You can make yours look pretty. I don't really give a shit. It's what keeps water out. Hot glue guns are very valuable. Boom. All back together. That's so cool that this tool actually speaks with this old of a car. And you're getting